One of the issues that that you talk about a lot is leadership. How does leadership and emotional intelligence, how do those two interact?
Well, I got a definition of leadership which is perhaps slightly at variance with what some people's thoughts of leadership are, but yet again, it's about what's the most useful thing, what's a helpful thing to talk about. And I think a lot of practitioners, thinkers about leadership do confuse leadership and management, and I think it's really important to disentangle those so that our clients have got a very clear view of what the difference is between leadership and management. And management in our book is a set of tasks. It's a job really which is essential if any enterprise, any business is going to continue and going to thrive. But we feel that leadership is an attitude. And I was talking to somebody in the Southwest Regional Health Authority and talked to her about it, and she said, what we need, Jeremy, is a new way of being. And I think leadership is actually a way of being more than it is anything else. So it's also important to differentiate leadership from being in charge. Because being in charge is just a role. You could give anybody in the team the role of being in charge, provided they were equipped with the skills and resources to do it. You certainly hope that the people who are in charge are leaders, but I'm not sure they always are, in my definition. But basically, clients find it extremely helpful to separate out this idea of management from leadership and being in charge. And what that means, interestingly, is that everybody in the team can practice leadership qualities, because leadership is really about making the other person more important than you. And if that sounds a bit woolly, well, maybe it is, but I draw attention to the motto of the British Army, the Royal Military Academy at Sandhurst. Their motto is serve to lead. And what serve to lead means is that if you, Mr. Trainee Officer, think that you're going to be leading that group of trained soldiers, you need to be in service to them first. And this is a concept which Americans, Canadians, for example, don't have anything like as much trouble with as the British do. Because the British think that being in service is about being servile or about servitude, and it's not. That's something else completely. Being in service is just making the other person more important than you. And so sometimes if I'm coaching a small business, I can have them all in the room with me, and I'm talking about this, and I can just fix them one after the other, eyeball to eyeball, and I say, if you knew when you come into work tomorrow that everybody else in this business was making you more important than them, how powerful would that be? Of course, everybody says that would be great. Particularly the idea that the boss is doing it. And I say, all you have to do is reciprocate. And so that concept of leadership is the new way of being that we are finding is received very well in the NHS when we talk to people there. It's received very well by businesses who really want to improve their teamwork, because we say the answer to a good team is around developing leadership qualities and attributes. And finally, I just wanted to say that leadership is not the same as being pregnant. As far as I'm aware, you're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, whereas leadership is a continuum. And we all can name charismatic, wonderful leaders who have a fabulous attitude, a fabulous approach. But there is still room for the person who just wants to try it out, who just wants to practice. They want to get to the other end of the spectrum and just see how best they can apply this leadership principle. And they'll find that if they do start applying it, they will do it better and better.